Cheryl Heller, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for spending a little time walking and talking.
Happy to.
So you are, how long have you been at ASU?
This is the second day of my 5th week.
Okay. And what is your title? Like, we've given you kind of an unusual title.
Yes, I am the Director of Design Integration and a Professor of Practice in Innovation Design.
Where did you come from? I don't mean that in like a broader existential sense, but you were doing something really, really interesting in New York. You a founder of a program in social design. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So I founded the first master's program in social design at the School of Visual Arts in New York. And social design is the application of the process that designers use to create, to understand an audience, to develop ideas and evaluate them, to prototype, but it's applied to the complex social issues of our time instead of the traditional artifacts that design produces. So in the history of design, right, the designer would be the person to go in and be the expert, get an assignment, go away, and work magic that nobody else understood, you know, that black box, and come back and present it as the right idea, right? And the person who came in from the outside to present a solution. Social design is actually the opposite. In social design, you work inside a community that wants to change their conditions. We hear a lot about design thinking, which is a fairly narrow process for paying attention to users and developing multiple ideas and creating a hierarchy. But there's a level of expertise in design where people actually work at a systems level to create things that haven't existed before.
So you have an example of, in the grocery business, of someone who's called a natural designer.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
His name is Jeffrey Brown, and he's a 4th generation grocer, but he decided that he was going to open stores in the poorest neighborhoods of Philadelphia where people can't afford to buy his food. And so Jeffrey is really a natural, instinctive designer because he is constantly experimenting. He holds this idea, this North Star for what he wants to do, which is use his business to help people be more healthy and to end poverty. And he's constantly experimenting with how to do that.
He's prototyping, he's testing ideas.
He's prototyping constantly, and he collaborates. You see him in these meetings in the neighborhood, and sometimes, 2,000 people will show up to tell Jeffrey Brown what they want to eat, what they want, what they want their lives to be like. And he works with them, and he figures it out.
So you had mentioned innovation space.
Yes.
Before. What is innovation space? What makes it innovative?
It is one of the places at ASU where there is already an opportunity, faculty with experience and the knowledge to collaborate.
So these are the students that will be in a studio from multiple disciplines, engineering?
Yes, students are in a studio for 1 semester at a time. They can choose 1 semester or 2 semesters, and there are a number of projects that they work on, and they work on teams of 6 that include product designers, visual communication designers, engineers, business people, sustainability students.
Wow. So I want us to have just a very brief conversation, which I will take a snippet of and send to President Crow. You, as our design integration officer, what would you want to say to the president about how the design school and how designers could be more engaged in the process of university design?
I would say the imagining of it and the formation of it and the vision for it is critically important, and the part that people are inevitably missing is the process for how you do that. Whether it's Dr. Crow and ASU or Larry Fink telling all the businesses in the world that financial value will no longer be enough, The fact of the matter is that people don't know how to create together.
For you, what has been exciting about ASU?
It's what I wanted, right? I wanted to stick my finger in the fan and come to a place where there's not a like-minded group of people and see how this process could be integrated.
For you, this is a question I ask everybody in these walk and talks. How do you want to use your creativity to change the world?
I have a really funny reaction to change the world.
Okay,
right? I
good.
always tell people the world doesn't need changing, it's us. And I think what I do comes down to what I think about most is communication and the role communication plays, because communication is human relationships in every organization. You know, how do you use that to invite people in to participate in this process and let them see the benefit of it? There has traditionally been an arrogance about design and the kind of, well, it's good because we said so and we're the experts at this, right? Social design is the opposite, right? It is really sort of allowing yourself to disappear into what other people want and the other opportunities that you're trying to create.
Thank you, Cheryl. It's great to spend time.
Thank you, Stephen. All
Good
right.
luck with all.
Thanks.